Hello, thank you for volunteering to be part of the effort to ensure that our students have equitable access to becoming college and career ready. Together, we can provide our seniors with the best environment for them to succeed. Today's training will prepare you for your role as a testing staff at Tartan High School as we administer the ACT for our seniors. Here's a quick overview that will provide some context for our training today. October 6th is the makeup date for our current seniors who were unable to take the exam in July. This is the last opportunity for our seniors to complete a district-sponsored ACT exam. Staff are expected to arrive by 7:30 for any final room preparation, and students will begin arriving at 8. We are expecting to conclude testing by 12:30 for students who are testing with standard timing and about 1:30 for students testing with a different timing code. Factors such as start time and breaks impact when the exam will end in each room. All exams should be collected and returned to the 910 office by 2 p.m. We have 292 students registered and will be utilizing about 25 classrooms. We will be providing breakfast, snacks, and lunch to ensure that our students are in the optimal state to perform well on their exam. Specific logistical details about the process for breakfast, lunch, and dismissal that is not covered during this training will be provided in a follow-up document in our testing folder. Let's discuss the roles of our testing staff. Each room will have a room supervisor. The room supervisor is the lead proctor and will be responsible for all testing activities in that room. This includes receiving secure testing materials, verifying students as they check into the room, reading the prompts from the administration manual, completing the test administration form, and collecting and returning materials to the 910 office. Room supervisors will receive a test administration manual with the scripts to follow that will guide you through the entire exam. Depending on the staff available, we hope to provide each room with an additional proctor to support the room supervisor. The additional proctor's role will be to help seat students during check-ins and monitor the students during testing. The room supervisor will work with the proctor to ensure proper breaks are in place and the testing environment is monitored at all times. Roving proctors will be utilized in the event that we do not have enough staff to provide each room with a room supervisor and a proctor. The roving proctor will support multiple rooms, giving our room supervisors an opportunity to take a break. It's important to note that the room supervisor has to be present at the start and end of each test section. As you know, testing during these times provided a set of unique challenges. Luckily for us, the ACT is taking place after a hybrid day, so the desks are already spaced 6 feet apart. All rooms will have about 15 desks that are facing the same direction. Any posters or artifacts on the walls of the classrooms that may violate ACT's policies will have to be covered. Teachers will be contacted about covering this up for the rooms that will be used. On the day of testing, students will have a paper bag under their desk that will contain a snack and a water bottle. This bag must remain under the desk until the designated break. Students and families have received and will continue to receive communication from us asking that the following items are kept at home. If students do bring their phones, ensure that students have their phones turned off and put away. Students who are unable to put their phones in their pockets must turn the phone off and put the phone under their desk, where it must remain untouched for the remainder of the exam. We will also have staff outside as students arrive to remind students to leave their bigger items in the car or with their guardian. If a student does bring a prohibited item, please inform the student that they must place it under their desk where it will remain for the remainder of the exam. We will be following the same health screening process that is utilized on hybrid days. The day before the exam, families will receive an email from our building to complete a health self-assessment. Students who indicate yes on any of the items on the assessment is asked to stay home. As students arrive on October 6th, there will be posters throughout the entrance of the building with their names and room assignments. In addition, we'll have staff in the hallways with a complete list to assist students who may be lost. Our room supervisors will be at their assigned rooms to check in their students. Students will need to provide proof of identity in the form of a student ID or driver's license. As a last resort, if students have a picture uploaded on campus, students can use their campus account as a form of identification. The form of identification has to be recorded on the test administration form. This form is attached in our testing folder so that you can become familiar with the document before October 6th. Testing staff who are not room supervisors will be assisting students in finding their rooms and supporting their assigned room supervisors. It will take a concerted effort from our entire staff to ensure that our students are practicing social distancing and getting to their correct rooms. This is an overview of our schedule for October 6th. Instead of a morning briefing, a final screencast will be shared with all testing staff on Monday, October 5th. The screencast will address any questions or concerns that have came up during the week. The video can be watched on Monday and reviewed on the morning of the exam. As students begin arriving, they will have the option to either go straight to their assigned room or go down to the cafeteria for breakfast. Students will eat in the cafeteria or the gym before checking into their assigned testing rooms. If all of your students on your roster are present, or if they are accounted for, you can begin reading the verbal instructions. At the conclusion of test number 5, collect and count all testing materials. Students will have the option to leave if they have their own form of transportation or grab lunch in the cafeteria. Specific lunch details will be covered on an upcoming slide. Here are the sequencing of the tests. The order of the test must be offered in this sequence. Altering the sequence of the exams will invalidate the scores of our students. Keep in mind, during test number 1, room supervisors and proctors should be going around to check calculators to ensure that they are all in compliance with ACT guidelines. We'll have a few calculators available in case students forget to bring one. If they ask, send students down to the main lobby and we'll get them situated. For students needing extended time over multiple days, the exam will end after test number 3. Students and families will be informed that there is an additional day the students will be required to come back and complete the rest of the exam. During the exam, students may use the restroom, but the clock does not stop. Only one student may be out at a time. Students who need to use the restroom will be escorted. Proctors will need to escort the student to and from the bathroom. Students are encouraged to bring their own pencils, but we will provide each class with some extra pencils in case our students forget to bring any. Unless there is a documented medical reason, students should not bring their own food or drink. One last bullet point that I want to emphasize here, students cannot use scratch paper. They must do all of their work in the test booklet. There are 2 scheduled breaks. Before the start of break, explicitly remind students about the expectations. If a student accesses any electronic device, their score will be invalidated. Students may not talk to each other about the content of the exam and should not have access to their testing materials. It should remain under their desk. For health reasons, we also have to minimize the amount of movements that takes place during breaks. Students can only get up and stretch near their desk and go to the restroom one at a time. Again, the room is still a testing environment during breaks, and students should not access or discuss testing materials. Students can eat their snacks during break number 1. Hopefully, we do not have to deal with either one of these 2 situations, but it's important that we are all aware of how to complete irregularity reports and the steps we need to take if a student needs to be dismissed. Irregularity reports are completed if there are any events that disrupt the integrity of the testing environment. For example, a student's cell phone going off or a fire alarm goes off. These are events that will require us to fill out an irregularity report. If a student is suspected of cheating and will need to be dismissed, please discreetly call down to the 910 office and ask for support. This hasn't happened before, but again, it's important to be aware of how to get the support and also how to communicate with the testing coordinator. We were recently informed that our buses will not arrive until 2:30 p.m. Once all of the exams are completed and collected, students who have their own transportation can leave or grab lunch in the cafeteria before leaving. For our students who rely on our buses to provide transportation, please send them down to the cafeteria with their belongings. Students will remain either in the cafeteria or gym until the buses arrive. Before releasing the students, please inform them that they have an option to grab lunch in the cafeteria or they can leave if they have their own form of transportation. Once students leave the campus, they cannot return. Students who are leaving must exit out of the main doors. Release students one by one from your class to minimize the opportunity for students to congregate in the hallways. Please do not hesitate to reach out if anything was confusing or if you have any further questions. Lastly, thank you again for making this happen for our students. Each day, I am blown away by the dedication of our staff in this district. Have a wonderful week.